Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger. My friends, boy howdy, do we have a lot, and I mean a lot, of Tekken 8 news for you. Not the least of which is we got a new character trailer that is for Nina Williams, and we will talk about that a bit later on. This is the Nina trailer right here. And, oh man, we have learned so much about the new mechanics of Tekken 8 today. And I'm here to tell you the new mechanics, especially the heat system, it is more than just a mechanic. It is the game. Like, going by everything that has been presented today, how you utilize the heat system is going to be how well you perform in this game, because it seems to be fairly omnipresent and incredibly powerful. And we learned a lot more than just a heat system as well. A lot of core mechanics have been changed up. So I'll just cover everything we learned today, and let's start at the start and let's talk their game philosophy going forward. So the big keyword, the big buzzword going into Tekken 8 is aggression. They want the game to be the most aggressive version of Tekken to date. And considering the changes, I think that's definitely gonna be the case, providing both players and audiences the most exhilarating experience yet within the series through a new battle system and evolved visual expressions. And once again, I think that's exactly what they're going to be maintaining. However, going by some of the stuff we're going to see in this video, it might be the best for aggression ever, but it's definitely going to be very hard for the defender. Now, for some of the basic stuff, the rage system that's been there before is still in place in this game. If you get to a low health state, you're entered into rage, you'll do more damage, and you unlock your rage art move. Rage arts being basically your big fancy super move that you can only do at critical health. Here is Laws, busting out the nunchucks, and those are more than just for show, because he will use those in regular moves as well. Now, the thing here is, yes, we have rage arts, but rage drives are now gone. So you do not have that option. However, don't feel too bad, as you're going to get that utility and a whole heck of a lot more in the heat system. And we will talk about that in a bit. Also to note on the rage art end of things, the command is now universal across all characters, so no more character specificity on that end. Another very big mechanic coming to Tekken 8 is Recoverable Health. Now, it works a bit different than you might think how it works in other fighters. Usually Recoverable Health, if a fighting game has such a mechanic, you wait it out and recover your health. As long as you don't get hit, your health recovers over time. That is not the case here. Now, also with recoverable health being a thing, certain big moves, like say Paul's very big punches, now deal white damage, meaning this is the kind of health you can recover. Effectively chip damage almost, in a way, if you want to look at it at that lens. If you don't recover this health, you're gonna get blown up, you're gonna lose the round. So now big moves from, say, a character like Paul, you can't afford just to keep blocking them. So how do we get that health back? By attacking. So either by hitting the enemy or forcing them to block your attacks, that is what will recover your health, if you have any recoverable health at all. Once again, the key word of Tekken 8 is aggression. So you have to be aggressive to get your health back. So if you want to take control back of the match, you gotta start swinging. And now let's talk the heat system. When I said this is the game, I'm not joking. This is more than just a mere mechanic. This will define what Tekken 8 is as a whole. So to start out of the gate, the heat gauge, well, it's a meter. So every character in Tekken 8 is now a metered character. They toyed around with the concept in Tekken 7 with a lot of the guests and all that having meters. Now everyone has a meter to work with. On top of the meter draining, the character is on fire, so it's very easy to tell when someone is in the heat stance. Activation is a single button, so it's not a big deal. You don't need to learn a complex motion. You're meant to be able to do this whenever you want very easily. It drains over time naturally. However, the thing about it draining over time is you can definitely slow it down, which ties into the aggression theme yet again. Because as you're hitting the enemy, well, the gauge stops depleting. So be it on hit or on block, you're basically buying yourself more and more time to utilize your heat gauge as long as you're making contact with the enemy in some shape, some form. And also, all your basic attacks now do chip damage. They all drain the white life of the enemy, so the longer you're in this state, the more and more advantageous you are, because even if they're blocking, they're still taking some form of damage. And there's still so much more to go here, because there's tons of character specificity This is basically, for lack of a better term, an install, a V-trigger, because certain characters get all new effects while they're in the heat state. Paul, as an example here, the big widen up punch, normally he'd just be plus on block, right? That's nice. But in the heat state, it becomes a guard break, and he gets guaranteed follow-ups from it. Someone like Law, a basic nunchuck move, just knocks down. But if he's in the heat state, now it's just a full-on juggle starter, and he gets guaranteed follow-ups from it. How about someone like King? So King has a move he just charges forward trying to get a move on you, basically just trying to get a throw. Easily stopped if you know what's coming. However, if he's in heat, now guess what? He effectively has infinite armor, and boom, massive diamond cutter. Just really trying to impress upon you how strong the heat system is, because it offers so much. Once again here, this is something King could never do by himself. The heat system allows him to do this. And once again, we're nowhere near close to explaining all of it. There's still so much more to go. Now, let's talk about heat activations, because there's two ways to do it. One, well, it's the easy way. It's the manual way. Like we said earlier, it's a single button press. You press it, boom, you're in the heat state. The other way is the heat engager, where you enter the heat state after a big move and run after the opponent. I guess you could say it's like a focus attack dash cancel in Street Fighter 4. Regardless, you chase the opponent after the big hit while you're in the heat state. Every character has multiple moves that are heat engage okay moves. Going by the trailer shown to us, everyone has about 5, which is pretty wild because you can start a massive offense from this. And once again, that keyword, aggressive play, all that kind of stuff, right? So basically you get the big hit and then it's still your turn. You're still chasing down the enemy. Certainly leading to effectively a snowball style effect where the odds are ever in the favor of more and more and more of the aggressor. And they did want to stress in the video, if you're new to Tekken, the moves that are your heat engage moves, these are the ones you want to learn out of the gate. They're very important. These are designed to be very powerful. These moves are effectively your go-to. So now wrapping back to the heat burst. The heat burst can be done as an attack. And the thing about this attack is it's plus. So if you connect with the move while you activate your heat mode, well, you have a slight advantage over your enemy. Plus frame's naturally always a good thing because if you both hit a button at the same time, you're always going to win. Also, if you use a heat burst attack while in a juggle, it creates basically a bound effect, like say Tekken 6. While their feet are up in the air, you're free to combo them. So here we have a quick juggle starter. We utilize our heat to bound the enemy, and then we get a combo after the fact. And as you saw earlier, you can just enter the heat state without the attack, so you don't need it. So if you would like to manually enter it without whiffing an attack, the option is there for you. Hey, so that's a lot of stuff already, right? And no, we are not done yet. There is still even more mechanics in the heat system, such as the chains you're seeing here. These are heat energies. And they allow for even more special things than the stuff we can do already in the heat system. It's all pretty crazy. One of the things you can do is the heat smash. And this is effectively like the rage drive from Tekken 7, a unique move to the character that's extra powerful. The other thing you can do with this mechanic is the heat dash. So you take a heat engage move, and I know this is a lot of jargon, I'm sorry, and then you can, well, basically cancel that animation into the dash while you're already in the heat state. The idea here is that many heat engage moves, like say Paul's Phoenix Crusher, well, they're not particularly safe on block, right? So you can heat dash to make that move safe or advantageous. So basically you're burning the resource to turn a bad situation into a good one. Heat dashes also allow you to get combo potential where otherwise you would never have any, like in this scenario here with Paul. So Paul gets to hit, heat dashes, and now it's a juggle, and he can get a full combo follow-up. So heat smash, heat dash, as long as you have at least one heat energy, you can do either or. Just pick whichever one you like. Now here's the thing, if you enter the heat state with the heat burst, you only get one heat energy. If you enter with a heat engage, you get 2 heat energy. I know it sounds like I'm talking in tongues right now, but bear with me. This will make a lot more sense over time as we get more used to these mechanics. So in this scenario, Paul uses a heat engage, therefore gains 2 heat energy. So now in a combo setting, he can use the heat dash and a heat smash at the same time because he has 2 energies to use. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to do both. To note here, if you have multiple heat energy to work with, use the heat dash before you use the heat smash, because the heat smash will take everything you have. Even if you have two, if you use it once, it's over, because it's meant to be the big final hit. So yeah, the heat system, it's all very overwhelming, and it's all in favor of the attacker. So the one thing they did want to stress to mention here is the Power Crush system, which was in Tekken 7, basically your armored attack that can tank hits. It's now more valuable because the damage you take isn't just gone forever. You can now get some of that health back if you manage to hit the enemy. So when you feel that pressure, especially from the heat system, it's time to toss out a Power Crush and stop the enemy in their tracks. And of course, movement, stepping, backdashing, all that kind of stuff. You're not helpless, but things are definitely kind of dire for the defender in these situations. Once again, aggressiveness offense here is rewarded. So yeah, the heat system, pretty wild stuff, huh? And we still got the Nina trailer to talk about as well. So Nina, new look. I like this look a lot. I think this is my favorite look for Nina ever. And you may notice she's definitely brandishing the guns. And this is not just for show. As we've talked earlier about Law, well, Law, the nunchucks, the weapons are now a part of the moveset. Much the same here for Nina, much the same say for Jack with the railgun. Weapons are definitely a much more common theme now in Tekken 8. So it'll be interesting to see how this trend also applies to some of the other characters. Someone like Paul, he doesn't need weapons. He is the weapon, right? But other characters, we'll have to wait and see. Now, here's an example right here, just busting out the guns. It's just a regular move. It's just something Nina can do. No meter needed, although that said here, we do get a glimpse into her heat system. So here we have a heat engager, I suppose, because she does the follow-up after the fact. And now with the heat system flames, we now get an attack, and this might be her heat smash with the gun, as after the attack is done, the heat flames go away. And again here, coming up in a moment, Nina will be in heat right here. We get the bound combo follow-up, but then just more gunshots coming up here in heat, and heat stays. It's just a regular move. Now, can she zone with it? Is like Geese-style fireballs, Akuma-style fireballs going to be a thing for the regular cast? That'll be definitely something to see if that's the case. We don't know. But it's definitely something to think about. With all these new systems, Tekken, even though it is going to remain a legacy game, I'm sure, seems to be the most different it's been in quite some time. So I'm definitely just a fan of seeing how this is all going to work out in the end. At this point, I am definitely looking forward to seeing more Tekken 8 footage. And say if you're at EVO Japan, you can, as there will be a closed alpha test. This is going to be offline only at select locations, more to be announced later on. But yeah, they're starting to bring out the game and show it to people. So the wheels are definitely turning on the Tekken 8 engine. So whenever there is more big Tekken 8 news, I'll definitely do my best to bring it to you guys here on the channel. And otherwise, well, I suppose we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Tekken.